Hi champ, hope you're having a great day. In today's video, we're gonna break down how to deal with your overwhelmness so you can start enjoying life more and stop feeling stressed and overwhelmed by all the external things that's happening outside. Sounds good? Let's just get right into it. Before anything, let's just address what's happening in the world right now. World might be opening up for you, world might be closing down again for you. You have more freedom, which gives you more responsibility. Maybe you have less freedom, and that by itself just gets overwhelming. Work, family, relationship, kids, day-to-day life. Life by itself can be extremely overwhelming. So in today's video, I want to break down how I do and what I do, and do this together with you so we can find out why you're overwhelmed, how we can prioritize, and to just get some clarity. That sounds good? Let's go right into it, all right? Today's webinar, we're gonna talk about 3 things. First thing, we're gonna ask ourselves 3 questions. Then we're gonna do what I like to call personal inventory. And then after that, we're gonna knock on the dragon. We're gonna knock on the dragon's door. Why? Because we wanna get rid of overwhelmness. All right? So the first thing, before anything, if I'm starting to feel overwhelmed, if I'm starting to feel a little bit stressed, which is something that happens to a person like me who's been dealing with anxiety, depression, I'm constantly getting these signals from my subconscious and my body about how I'm feeling. So the first thing I want to do is that I want to ask myself these 3 questions. It's like a checklist, right? How is my sleep? That's the first thing. Am I waking up at the same time? Am I going to bed at the same time? Am I sleeping with a blue light? How long am I spending in front of the computer, looking into a screen before I go to bed? I try to shut it off at least an hour before to just get rid of all the blue lights. I try to sleep with a mask on. When did I eat? Did I eat 2 hours before going to bed? Is my body, am I getting enough deep sleep? All of these questions is something that I look into to get an overview of how is the quality of my sleep. Second thing on the checklist is that I make sure to look over my food. You guys know I'm a big proponent of intermittent fasting. However, that can be too aggressive at some times. Not for me, but for you, for anyone. How am I eating? Am I eating too much junk food? Am I eating enough fats and protein? Or am I eating too many carbs? What's going on with my body nutrition-wise? Extremely important question to ask yourself. First thing is sleep, second thing is food. And when it comes to nutrition, we all love to forget the most important nutrition of them all, which is water. Am I staying hydrated? Am I drinking enough water? Make sure to do that, because your food, your nutrition, and your sleep, critical task number 1, critical thing number 2 in the checklist, matters extremely much, and they correlate, right? Everything needs to make sense here. Third thing, if you're anything like me, you love a good morning coffee. But with that being said, it can be a thing with too much caffeine. Oh my God, what's going on? Can there be too much caffeine? Yes, champ, it can definitely be too much caffeine. And the thing is that if you consume too much caffeine, it's gonna make sure that your body's constantly pumping, your pulse is always high. So you start to like, well, what am I feeling? Am I stressed, or is it just that it's too much caffeine and the effect of that is that I feel stressed? Did that make sense? Very important to remember that if you consume caffeine midday, you're gonna have 50% of the caffeine is gonna be in your bloodstream at 6 p.m., which means that if you consume a cup of coffee at 6 p.m., 50% of that caffeine will still be in your bloodstream by midnight. Make sure to don't drink caffeine too late, all right? Really important thing. So that is the 3 critical questions, 3 critical checklists that I go over. Sleep, nutrition, including water, and the caffeine consumption, right? Which means that we can, we have just run over this. Boom. Next thing I do is personal inventory. So what I want us to do here, and what I want you to imagine, is that there are things in your life that is happening, and things that are happening in a physical space, in a physical sphere, and in the mental sphere. But what that means is that what you do is that you have too much equal prioritizations of everything. You're trying to juggle too much things at the same time, giving everything equal importance. It won't work long term. So let's dive into the iPad and let's do this thing together, all right? So in the personal inventory, first thing I want you to do, just write personal inventory, and then we have 4 things that we are gonna run over together. The first thing is things that occupy my mind. First column is things that occupy my mind. Make sure to have it written down and be a little bit creative in this, all right? So here, for me, for example, I have travel, COVID news, something that is obviously very current right now, crypto, family situation, I want to scale my company, mental health, and maybe stupid coworkers, right? I'm making this up. All of these things I'm making up as we go. So pause me right now. Hope you have a piece of paper with you and just do it, all right? Let's do it together. Things that occupies my mind. What are the things that you are feeling overwhelmed by? What are the things that is happening currently in your life? What type of situations are you dealing with? That's the first thing that we want to do. Cool? First thing, things that occupy my mind. Second thing, how much physical time on a scale of 1 to 5 am I actually doing the thing that is occupying my mind? So traveling, I'm not traveling much at all right now, so maybe that's a 1. COVID news, unfortunately, I've been spending too much time thinking about that or in the physical sphere, so maybe that's 3.5. Crypto is something I've been spending way too little time on, so maybe that's 1.3. Family situation, I don't even live in Sweden right now, so that's a 0. Scale my company, something I constantly think about, so that's a 5. That's something I want to work on. My mental health, I'm not really prioritizing that at the moment as much as I wanted to, so maybe that's a 3.9. Stupid coworkers, you guys know I do work with David, so maybe that's a 2.6, right? So that's how much time I'm spending in the physical time. How much physical time am I actually consuming this? I'm not traveling. I can't travel 24/7 physically. So that's a 1. But what is your thing? Dive deep into your subconscious mind. Dive deep into your mind and what are you doing physically? Working, time with family, taking care of your parents, taking care of your children. Maybe you have a nasty breakup that's about to happen. So relationship. Be creative, but be honest with yourself, all right? Do it now. That's the second thing. Now the third thing we want to run over is how much mental time am I actually spending on this? And when I mean mental time is like how much of my mind space throughout the day is consumed by this situation that's occupying my mind. How much am I actually thinking about scaling my company? How much am I actually thinking about all the COVID news? How much am I actually thinking about crypto? How much am I actually thinking about dancing? So if we dive back into here, we're gonna do the same thing. Travel. How much mental time do I spend traveling? Bro, I'm basically a 5 there. I'm constantly on my next travel in my mind. Crypto news. To be sincere, maybe that's a 3.8. Crypto, I'm thinking about that a lot, so that's a 4.5. Family situation, maybe that's a 2. Scale my company, that's a 5 for sure. Mental health is not really something I'm thinking too much about, so that's a 2. Stupid coworkers, let's say that's a 4. All right? But for the sake of it, let's just make this a 4 again. Let's make this a 4 also. All right? How much? What are the things that, quick overview. We asked ourselves the critical questions. Now we're doing the personal inventory, right? If you remember the quadrant, we did the questions first. Now we're on the lower right corner doing the personal inventory. 3 things that we've done so far. What are the things that are occupying your mind? Make that really clear. Number 2, how much physical time are you spending on it? How much physical time am I spending with my family? 0. I live in a different country. How much mental time am I spending with my family? More. Because I'm thinking about them constantly. Cool? Makes sense? Let's go forward. Now, if you're looking at this, you may notice that from here, from the time I travel, the physical time I spend traveling versus the mental time I spend traveling, there is a bridge here from a 1 to 5. Then crypto is something I don't spend a lot of time on, but I think about it constantly. Family situation, I don't physically do there, but it's a 4. Scaling my company, that's also a 5. Stupid coworkers, for the sake of this argument, it was a 4. So maybe that's not something that is physically occupying me, but it's mentally draining. All right? So what does that give us? It gives me 1 high priority, 2 high priority, 3, 4, 5, and maybe that's a 6. If you're looking at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that have high priority in my mind, no wonder you're stressed out. No wonder you're stressed out. No wonder, because you're juggling with 6 balls. Or maybe you have 45, depending on how long your list is, right? Now, here's the thing what we're going to do. We're now going to look at the things that you are the most overwhelmed by. COVID news can be really overwhelming. Family situation. And coworkers, stupid coworkers. Now you look at those 3 things, and today you decide that you're going to deal with the stupid coworker situation. All right? That's the one thing we're going to do, because now we come down here and we are just done doing the personal inventory. I hope you're doing this as we go. Okay? So, quick recap. We have the things that are occupying your mind. Things that occupy your mind, how much physical time am I spending on it, how much mental time, and what is the thing I think I'm the most overwhelmed by. All right? Just looking at the list. This is all to create clarity. And then we went one by one, and we looked at the gap that's here. This bridge tells us something. That's where we need to focus on. Now it's time to actually deal with it. What am I doing? What are you doing? Like, there are so many things in your life right now that is right there in front of you, and you're not taking any action on it. Why? Because you're overwhelmed already, and I get that. So what we're going to do is that we're going to commit to one thing. For the sake of this video, I said stupid coworkers. So we're looking at that, and then you need to, before you do anything, it's very, very important that you remember that winners respect the process. So if you want to win in this thing, if you want to stop feeling overwhelmed, you need to respect the process. This is going to take some time. This is going to take some work. Step by step by step, we're going to get there. But this is not a quick fix thing. This is not gonna, tomorrow you stop feeling overwhelmed, because that's not how it works. Maybe you watched a YouTube video, you got super inspired, a lot of motivation, you got a sugar high, went straight up there, but did it really help you? We're trying to fix the problem here. So that's the first thing, just respect the process. Then the second thing we need to do is that we're going to knock on the dragon's door. We're going to knock on the dragon's door. We know that deep inside there, if I open that door, there's going to come a dragon out. In this case, it's the stupid coworkers that I know I need to deal with. Maybe for you, it's just a pile of papers, a pile of unpaid bills that you haven't dealt with. Maybe you are working as a teacher, and for you, it's all the tests that you were supposed to do on Friday, but now it's Tuesday and you still haven't given it to your students. Maybe that's the thing that is making you feel overwhelmed and stressed, and you're watching this video. So the things that you need to do is, again, respect the process, knock on the dragon's door. I'm knocking on the door. I don't beat the door in and shoot the dragon straight away or get eaten by the dragon. that's how you get overwhelmed, because right now you're looking at your pile of papers and you think, wow, it's so much to deal with. I have no idea how I'm going to, just too much, just too big of a mountain. So instead of doing that, you accept your responsibility, knock on the dragon's door, start to knock a little bit. Internally, you visualize yourself doing it, and then you break it down into subcomponents. You reduce it until the smallest thing. The smallest thing, you reduce it into subcomponents so you can tolerate it. If you have 100 tests that you need to deal with, maybe today you're just going to look at them. Maybe you're just going to sort them out. Maybe you're just going to put them in front of you at your desk so you see them, so they're not hidden in the cabin. Maybe you're going to take a pen and paper and just physically look at them for 10 minutes. Break it down to the smallest of the subcomponents. Make sense? Pause this video right now and try to break it down into the smallest of subcomponents. What is the one thing that you chose to deal with? You accepted responsibility. You're now going to deal with it. What is the thing that you are going to tolerate? What is the thing you're going to tolerate today? Not going to be overwhelmed by it. Just looking at it for 5 minutes. Perfect. Then after that, it's really, really, really important that you remember to celebrate your small wins. You have to accept and be willing to celebrate the small wins, because without the small wins, we won't get anywhere. It's extremely, extremely important to remember that we're not celebrating the size of the step that we've been taking. We're celebrating the act that we have done. I'm going to say that again because it's very, very important. We're not celebrating the size of the step. We're celebrating the fact that you took a step. Not the size, we're celebrating the act. Make sense? Because it's internal. Maybe for you right now, if you stick with the, let's stick with the example of correcting tests, right? And you're gonna give them back to your students. You were supposed to do it on Friday, but then right next to you have your coworker, and she's crushing it. She has already been, doing all the tests, and now on her social media, she's out enjoying with her family. Her life looks perfect. The thing you're doing right now is that you're comparing yourself to that person. That person is irrelevant in this question. That person has nothing to do with you. Her success versus what you are experiencing is two completely different things. We're talking about apples and fridges, or apples and airplanes. It has nothing to do with each other. Cool? Let's just accept that straight away. We're going to celebrate, for the sake now, we're going to celebrate every small step, act forward. Because when you do that, you start to acknowledge yourself. Everything counts, everything matters. Small wins over the sake of time creates compounded interest. All of a sudden, 1 + 1, then it gets 2 + 2, then it's 2 × 2, 2 × 3, 3 × 4, 4 × 4, 6 × 6. All of a sudden you have been creating something, and you celebrating that you did it. Sooner or later you're going to be done with it. Cool? Alright, so as a quick summary of what we're doing and some takeaways, so you don't watch this video and leave more overwhelmed than you were, because that would be a strange paradox, right? So we have been doing 3 things today. We've been asking ourselves 3 critical questions: sleep, food and water, and caffeine. After that, we did a personal inventory. What is occupying your mind? After that, we decided to knock on the dragon's door. We chose one thing from the personal inventory list. We said that we accept it. We knock on the dragon's door. We look in. We break it down into subcomponents. Now it's time for you to start taking action on exactly that thing that you chose. Don't watch more YouTube videos. Don't watch more videos on my channel. Just give it a like, comment somewhere. Comment challenge accepted, mission accepted, something like that right here under, and go to work right now, champ. Stop procrastinating. Stop feeling overwhelmed. Use this. Take small steps, and remember to celebrate every win. You know what we always say, by dancers for dancers, and thank you for watching this video.